Hello, this is Holly with Country Road Crafts, and today I'm going to go over how to do a cabinet door and make it a little bit textured. So what I did with the cabinet door is I stripped it, I cleaned it with TSP Alternative, and I sealed it with casement, or I painted it with base coat casement, that's with colors on here, and then I put a top coat on it just to seal it, so if I make an oopsie I can wipe it off. But you don't have to put the clear top coat on it, but I did just because my brain said I had to. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to dry brush some gray or soapstone on top of here to give it a little bit of texture look, and then I'm going to go back and add Renfrew blue to my clear glaze, and then add a little bit more color to it. So I put it on a little plate so I can have some room, and I'm just going to put a little bit of color on my brush, and I'm going to offload it because I don't want a lot. I don't want a lot of. You can see that. I don't want a lot of paint on my brush. I'm going to take a tissue and wipe it down. Then I'm just going to create lines on it. And I'm trying to go the full length of the door, and I'm trying to go with the grain. On the sides here, I have to go against the grain because my brush won't fit down in there otherwise. But I'm just trying to create some texture on top of the cabinet door. See how that's working? And this is just an old cabinet door that Frank's friend had given us because we do a lot of woodworking stuff. And I'm like, put some color on it. I'm actually going to use it for a sign. I got a Fusion Mineral Paint stencil I'm going to put on top of this when I'm done. It won't be dry enough to do it today, but I'm going to put it on top. It says keep calm and paint on. So I think that's going to be kind of cool. I'll show you guys that when I'm done. I'll post a picture in the group. So I'm trying to cover all the white and put a little bit of gray. And the color is soapstone, so it's not real dark. It's not the ash. It's real. Oops. See, I got too much down here. I'm just going to wipe it all back. Just wipe it off. Wipe some of this off. I got too much. Just painting the door. I got casement on the bottom for the white. I got soapstone I'm using for the gray. And then I'm going to put Renfrew blue on my clear glaze to add a little color to it. And since we're dry brushing, it's already dry to touch. So my brush is a little bit wet and the door is dry. It's because I'm dry brushing it. So I put paint on, I wipe it off, so then it's just going to leave a little bit of color. I don't want it to be all gray. I just want it to look like it has wood grain. I want the wood grain to stand out, actually, is what I'm trying to do. If I wear my glasses, I could read my notes. Just trying to make sure the color is like I want it. I'll make sure I have it all around the edges like I like, what I want. Put it on the edge on the back side here. And this is just straight soapstone. And I did a technique called dry brush. So what I did was put a little bit of paint on and wiped it off so it's not a wet brush. And then just put a little bit of color on. And I like it. Beautiful. Look at that. And get it up in the corners there because I don't want it too white in the corners. I want a little bit, you know, but I'm going to cover the corners with the glaze here in a minute. Just dry brushing the edges. Trying to get the sides so it's matching. Okay, so that's part done. I just want it, if you want more, you could add more, but I just want it to be color. I want to be able to see the wood grain a little bit. I got a little dark here, but that's going to be okay because it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want a little color on there. And then for this next part, what I did was took some clear glaze. You see that? And I put some Renfrew blue in it. And I'm just going to stir it up. And it's going to be real bright bluish green. Look how pretty. Renfrew blue is a little bright for me, but I think it's going to be beautiful on this. So with the glaze, you're going to mix 4 to 1. So 4 parts glaze to 1 part paint. It gives your paint a little bit a longer open time so it doesn't dry so fast. And then it makes it a little more easy. You can wipe it back. I'm going to use a brush to put it on with. Sometimes I use a towel. I have shop towels that are lint free and I put them on sometimes with that, but that's what I'm going to actually take it off with because I'm going to try to get up in the corners and I'm going to put a little bit in the, you know, and I'm going to use this generously. I'm going to put a lot on there because when you wipe it back, I want it to be colorful, but not too colorful. But you can wipe it back or add as much as you want. So I'm going to do that. So generous. So I'm going to wipe. It's going to look a little blue. Look really blue. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Isn't that pretty? Put it on generous because it's not going to dry. It's not going to dry that quick. I'm going to wipe it off before it dries. Just to give a little bit of color because black and white's okay, and I like black and white. But a little bit of color, sometimes, as Frank reminds me, it's not a bad thing. I forget that there's other colors other than black and white. But he's always telling me about play with a little bit of color sometimes. And I'm just going to cover this whole thing kind of thick, and then I'll wipe it all back. And I don't have to, you don't have to go with the grain with this. You can just put it on. You don't have to. You can if you want. And I got a hair right there. Gotcha. And I'm going to just brush right back over top of that spot. You guys can see what I'm doing? And next week, I think I'm going to do some Magnolia design stuff next week. Some decor stuff, I think. Trying to plan ahead. My brain don't always plan ahead. It's usually on the spot, and then if I plan ahead, I usually forget. But I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. Look at that color. Bright, bright, bright. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to get my lint-free towels. And I got these at Lowe's. They're just lint-free. They just don't leave fuzzies all over my projects. And I am just going to wipe back lightly, because I want to leave some of the color on. And you can wipe back as much or as little as you want. Oh my goodness, look at that color. I love it. Look at that. Look how beautiful. And this is just wiping it back. I put the paint in the glaze 4 part to 1. I didn't measure. Frank would have told me to measure. I didn't measure. Don't tell him. Don't tell him I didn't measure, because I'm terrible at that. But I think I did a good job because the colors are exactly what I wanted. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm not going to get too much out of the corners, but I do want to get some of it off. And Frank is in the background playing on his TikTok. Right here. Oh my goodness, look how pretty. And then I'm going to let this set for 24 hours. And then what I'm going to do is I am actually going to seal it with the clear coat, top coat, just because I want to protect it. And then on top of that, I'm going to put the stencil I have from the, it says calm on paint. I forget how it goes, but it's one of those calm things and paint on. Keep calm and paint on is what it's going to say. And it's going to have a little paintbrush and stuff on it. So, but what do you think about that? Beautiful. Oh my goodness. That was easy peasy. I am just going to touch up the sides here. So if you guys try it, let me know. Or if you have questions, feel free to ask. I can walk you through them. And if you're local, I have a bunch of these things. If you want to try it, let me know that too. I have a bunch of doors if you're local, because his friend was remodeling a house. I actually took too much off right here, so I'm going to paint a little bit more. There we go. And I may actually do some furniture with this on top, because it's giving me some ideas. Never really used the glaze before. The other day I tried it on a round for a table. I loved it. So I thought I can do this here too. Okay. All right, guys. Quick and easy. And you can add and take off as much as you want until it dries. Once it dries, and you don't have to put a top coat on it. You can just leave it like it is. A top coat just is going to protect it. I'm going to put something else on top, so I don't want it to bleed into each other. So I'm going to seal it or put a top coat on, and then I'm going to put my little stencil on top. Okay, guys, that's all for tonight. Thank you. Have a great day.